Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Talk Gertie to Me, the Charm Patterns podcast, where we chat vintage glamour, sewing, creative rabbit holes, and fashion history, all through a campy, queer, and feminist pop culture lens. So throw on your favorite silk robe, grab a mocktail, and let's get started. Hi, everyone. I'm Gertie, and welcome to our podcast. I am here with my co-host, Andrea.
Hi.
So, Andrea, what we're talking about today is Slutty Italian Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an idea that comes up a lot at Charm.
It sure does.
It sure does. And I mentioned it in the last Crowdcast, which was for the Lisa Bodice. I just sort of casually threw that phrase out. And I think people were really inspired by it. And I think everyone wants to have a Slutty Italian Summer.
Your patented phrase, Slutty
Yes.
Italian Summer.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to trademark.
So it is amazing. Let's do it.
They were like, let's do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so everyone's really excited about Slutty Italian Summer. And I thought we could take a moment, or roughly 20 minutes, to talk about how did we start using this phrase at Charm? And I think it's part of a bigger discussion of how do we get inspired at Charm?
Yeah. Little sneak peek into the way you become inspired and how it shapes what we do and what we talk about and all the fun we have.
Exactly. And I think the great thing about talking about Slutty Italian Summer is that we had a Slutty Italian Summer 2 years ago, and now we're going to have another Slutty Italian Summer.
That's right.
It's cyclical.
Yeah, it really comes around.
So thinking about what this idea is, it started to infiltrate my brain, I would say 2 years ago when White Lotus season 2 was on.
Mm-hmm.
And that season was set in Sicily. And we had Jennifer Coolidge wearing Dolce & Gabbana dresses. We had Aubrey Plaza wearing Dolce & Gabbana bustiers. And I just went in a deep dive. It was all I talked about.
It was all you talked about. And I don't watch White Lotus. All of my knowledge comes from Gretchen coming in and shouting at me about Dolce & Gabbana bustier.
You have a really high tolerance for me talking at length about things that you're not currently interested in.
Well, it's like my own personal podcast. I get to learn about things, you know? It's great.
So there was something about that season of White Lotus, and I feel like it always sort of coincides with whatever's going on in my personal life, which I can't really remember what it was at the time, but like I was in a mood where I just wanted to like hunker down on the couch, and like I watched this season repeatedly, and I was like planning a Sicilian vacation.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Dolce & Gabbana bustiers, and I wanted to bring this idea to Charm because there was something about it that felt, obviously that's a modern show, but this feels very vintage to me. And sort of exploring that idea of why. What is this idea? What is this aesthetic?
Yeah.
And it played into this. Okay, so it played into two patterns that we worked on, probably three patterns we worked on subsequently, which was the Gina bustier, the Elsa culottes, and the Sophia dress.
Yes.
I don't know why.
That's what it's called.
I don't believe we did a pattern called the Sophia dress.
It's a lovely
It's a lovely dress. Okay, I will take your word for it. I don't remember anything about doing it, but I do remember leopard print ribbed fabric.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the styling for those patterns, I was really adamant. Like, we needed big hair
Yeah.
and big hoop earrings.
Yeah.
And if you look at my Pinterest board from that time, it's called Italian, by the way. The Pinterest board is called Italian, and it doesn't have anything Italian on it. It just has a 2017 Guess campaign featuring Camilla Cabello.
I love it.
Well, and I think part of like why is that Italian to me? You know what I mean? So we're kind of like looking, but we're digging through the layers of like what makes that aesthetic Italian, and it actually tracks.
I love that it's called Italian. Keep going back to it. So it's great.
I do.
Yeah. I know. I know.
Well, and I don't want to ramble too much, but I think part of why this is helpful is because it's helpful for the two of us to have like a shorthand. Like if I want to say, you say like, what do you want the hair to be on Monday? I say, Slutty Italian Summer, and you know what I mean.
Yes, that's
Right?
right. Yeah.
So let's talk about what this means. I did Vargas panties. We have to talk about that too.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is when the styling really took hold.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we had a problem with the Vargas panties.
There's a real problem with modeling sheer panties.
Yeah, I was like, that is where I draw the line.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not doing it.
we gotta come up with something.
So I think you came up with this idea we're going to be hanging panties on a clothing line. I would be hanging them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's perfect because it's a slutty Italian summer. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So we had this idea of like the Italian laundress, sort of thinking of the Sicilian woman, you know, with her hair tied up in a silk scarf, hanging her panties out her clothesline on the cobblestone streets of Sicily. Like, it's just, we all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it's like iconic.
It's iconic. So this all ties back to Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like this is very much the aesthetic. They were inspired by 50s Italian iconic women. Sophia Loren, Gina Lollobrigida. They do a lot of lingerie as outerwear. And then this sort of became filtered through a 90s lens, which I think is very nostalgic for us because we were children of the 90s.
For sure.
We can, you know, Cindy Crawford.
I can call up those ads at a moment's
The
notice.
Guess ads is what we're talking about. Yes, of the 90s. So Claudia Schiffer, Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to read to you a quote, Andrea. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So this quote is from Vogue magazine's, they did sort of like a retrospective review of the 1992 Dolce & Gabbana summer or spring collection. I don't know. It was a collection. It was in 1992.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawford walked the runway. She was wearing a Merry Widow, garters, the whole thing. And this is when Dolce & Gabbana sort of took hold. The label started in 1985, but 1992 is considered sort of their seminal year. So Vogue, looking back at this collection, said, Dolce & Gabbana's clothes take their cue from old-fashioned Italian classics, wrote Vogue when introducing the brand to readers in 1985. Their inspiration, specifically Sicilian women, or more accurately, a fanciful and cinematic version of Sirens and Nona's sunshine and clothing lines.
That's it.
That's it. I was like, yeah, that's exactly, that's Slutty Italian Summer.
Yeah.
They also go on to write about the dichotomy of the good versus bad girl, which I think is very prevalent in this aesthetic. You know?
For sure.
So where do we go from here, Andrea? Do we go to the collection? So this is a podcast, which is an audio medium. We're looking at a picture.
But now we're looking at pictures.
Now we're looking at pictures. We're looking at a picture of Cindy Crawford walking in the 1992 Dolce & Gabbana show, and she's wearing a Merry Widow, so a black bustier with straps, sort of like hip length, and it has garters on it with black thigh-high stockings, and she has like a red rose in her cleavage and then another one in her hair, and she looks like Cindy Crawford in 1992. So, which for me, like Cindy Crawford was like, to me, like the ideal woman.
Yeah.
Like nothing will convince me otherwise. Nothing will convince 11-year-old Gertie otherwise.
That this is exactly what everyone should work towards.
Yes. So
Very achievable.
is if we look, very achievable. If we look through this collection, there's like a lot of big hair. There's a lot of these Merry Widows. There are little sort of t-shirt, sweater kind of things. They're embellished to say Sophia and Gina. We were just talking about Sophia Loren and Gina Lollobrigida.
Big hair.
Big hoops.
I love the scarves.
The scarves.
I have a question about silk scarves and their relationship to Slutty Italian Summer. Let's circle back to that.
Should we circle back to that? Okay. Ooh, all right. So, and then what I told you this morning, which you didn't know, is that the Merry Widow, which we talk about a lot at Charm because my favorite strapless bra is the Merry Widow from What Katie Did.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know, a Merry Widow is sort of a bustier style bra that goes down to the hip. And it can be strapless or have straps, and it has garters attached, which, you know, you can remove.
Yeah, of course.
It's a strapless bra. It's a long strapless bra. Mm-hmm. So what we're looking at now is a picture of Lana Turner wearing a Merry Widow in the movie The Merry Widow. And this is how this undergarment got its name.
This shocked
you. Yeah, I know. I was so excited. I could tell you a new fact. So Lana Turner starred in this movie called The Merry Widow, and part of the plot was her wearing this, you know, fabulous piece of lingerie. And then Warner's, the lingerie company, got in on it, and they decided to recreate this sort of corseted kind of strapless bra and call it the Merry Widow after the movie.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
This is where it comes from.
This is where it comes from. It comes from Warner's.
I'm just so surprised that it wasn't around before this movie and Ellie used it. Anyway, I love it.
Anyway, well, she's really wearing a corset, you know, and they sort of like reimagined it to be a corset style bustier. So lot of lingerie in this collection. This would have been 1992. Obviously, they were inspired by 50s icons, 50s cinema, this idea of the cinematic Italian woman, Sicilian woman specifically. And then I think to you and me, I think this idea is indistinguishable from early 90s pop culture and fashion.
That's right.
This is like 50s Italian woman filtered through the American early 90s gaze.
Yeah, we were the perfect age to have a lifelong influence, like, you know, between 10 and 15.
Very much. And I was a subscriber to 17 magazine.
Oh.
Yeah. So I would have seen these ads when they came out, and they did make a big impression on me. And sometimes I wonder if this is why I like vintage fashion.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a great reason to like vintage fashion. I just think it's so interesting that it's like these black and white ads. As soon as we're like, you say Slutty Italian Summer, and I'm like, remember the Guess ads? And you were like, do I remember the Guess ads?
Yeah. And so it was the big hair, the huge hoop earrings, their tight pants. As a young woman, Cindy Crawford was like I said, the ideal woman to me. I had her workout tape. We're looking at a picture of her now from the Pepsi ad. Mm-hmm. How do I get this hair, Andrea? Why doesn't my hair look like that? That's my other question. Oh, and then the Vanity Fair, which I talk about a lot. There was the Vanity Fair cover with Katie Lang and Cindy Crawford. And there was this sort of take on like butch femme dynamics, which I think influenced me more than we will ever realize. Right? So
this single Vanity Fair cover.
I mean, I think I've shown you this several times because I'm still not over how hot it was.
I'm surprised we don't have like pictures of it. These hung up in the studio.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should. So we're sort of like looking at this idea of the Guess woman through a queer lens, which obviously excites me a lot. And I think, you know, this is all sort of like over the top feminist, right?
Yeah.
And sort of like performing this very specific brand of femininity.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Sultry, feminine.
Slutty Italian Summer.
Yeah.
Then in 2017, Guess relaunched this ad campaign with similar styling, and Camila Cabello, and because I'm a person whose heyday was in the 90s, I still don't know Camila Cabello is. Do you?
Oh,
I think
if you don't know, if you don't know, I definitely don't know.
I'm not going to say any more because I'm just going to embarrass myself. But I like anything I know about her is like against my will. But she looks fabulous in these ads. Like she's doing the big hoops, she's doing the little wiggle dresses, she's doing the hair, that updo. And this is the photo, her in the wiggle dress with the roses on it, yellow pumps, big hair, messy updo.
It's like the casual messiness of all the styling that it's like, it has like a little bit to me of like an effortless sexiness to it.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you just like pin your hair up and there's like tendrils falling and you just throw in your big hoops and run out the door.
Yes. It's like very unstudied, I guess. But as we both know, hair like this does not just happen by accident.
Oh my God. I would do anything to have my hair look like that.
I mean, I have to have Stevie work on my hair for 2 hours to get it to look remotely like this. But we did. This is the exact hair that I asked for the Gina Bustier shoot. And it was spectacular. It took about 8 pounds of hair extensions, clip-ins.
Yep, sure.
Piled on top of my head. And every time we do this, I think, I'm sure I could wear extensions every day, right? I can work that into my...
You say that every single time.
I know.
And you say it, and then until your head starts hurting. Yeah, because you have enough hair for 2 other heads on your head.
And then I practically ripped them out. So this is the latest reincarnation of this Slutty Italian Summer look with Camila Cabello. So, and this is my Italian Pinterest board, is Camilla Cabello, shot in 2017 by Guess, a reimagining of Dolce & Gabbana's 1992 runway show, which was inspired by 50s icons like Gina Lollobrigida and Sophia Loren.
We need like a whiteboard with like arrows pointing
I know.
and drawing, like strings attached to like newspaper clippings and ads. To, like,
I'm the meme with like the
How-
wild eyes and lots of Post-its, and I'm like, but you just have to look at 1992. So yeah, I mean, I just love this. I love that these conversations and like what we do at Charm is obviously it's very vintage, but we're not purists by any means. And I think it's impossible to be a vintage purist because if you grew up in the 90s, you know who Cindy Crawford is.
yeah, it's part of what makes it fun is all the different things, how pop culture seeps in, along with vintage styling and like high level sewing techniques, and all of this comes together to make like the most amazing hydrangea bustier.
Exactly. Exactly. And like, why did we choose the hydrangea fabric?
Yeah.
It's because it's very reminiscent of a Dolce & Gabbana floral.
I think about that fabric.
It was a beautiful fabric with those big pants.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Amazing.
He looks 8 feet tall.
I know.
Big hair on the side of your
Big
head.
hair. I know. I had really huge hair. I was wearing like 6-inch espadrilles.
That's the dream.
So we've done a lot of patterns, I think, that are in this sort of world. I mean, the Rita blouse is just sort of your classic Italian laundress blouse, right? So that plus a circle skirt and a pair of flat Roman sandals and like that Slutty Italian Summer.
I love that.
So it doesn't have to be incredibly coiffed, I think is the other thing to remember, is that it lives in your heart all year round. Slutty Italian Summer never ends.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, it can be as simple as throwing on a peasant blouse and a circle skirt.
And a silk scarf in
And
your
a
hair.
silk scarf. Oh, right. We want to talk about silk scarves.
Well,
What's your question?
Well, you love them.
I do.
And you've fallen in love again with silk
Yeah,
scarves
yeah.
lately.
It's true.
And I love them as fashion items. Like it's got that same quality, like a beautiful scarf in your hair is the same quality as like the messy updo.
Right.
Right?
I just
Like, it's
threw
just-
this in.
Yeah, you just like tie it and really cute.
Yeah, I have been wearing silk scarves every day, and I have a collection of Dolce & Gabbana silk scarves, which I started cultivating probably about 8 years ago. I'm not big into following runway fashion, but Dolce & Gabbana is a brand that I want everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And I mean, one accessible part of a high-end brand like this is their accessories, right? That's why people like, the sunglasses, the purses, the scarves, whatever.
Right.
And for me, like one way to access Dolce & Gabbana prints is through a scarf, and as you know, I like to haggle on eBay for these. It's my number one
Favorite pastimes.
favorite pastime. I don't like to pay full price for a Dolce & Gabbana scarf. And yeah, it became a way for me to like collect these prints, which are so beautiful. And I mean, I think I'm pretty well known for my love of vintage florals, and that's what these are. They're like big roses, butterflies, like the most beautiful feminine polka dots. There's so many like the one I'm wearing has like a border of polka dots. It has pink roses, and it's just like being able to own like a small piece of that. And then also I mean, I don't wear Charm makes every day, as you know. And I think we're so busy that I'm more focused on like, let's get to work and get this done rather than let me put together a look. But like just putting one of these scarves in my hair is a way to be like, okay, I tried to do something cute today.
Yeah, this is your creative professional. You talk about that a lot.
God, that's a whole other episode.
That is a great.
Creative professionals uniform.
Yeah, I just think it's like it looks so effortless, and the colors are so beautiful.
So beautiful.
And it just goes towards that, like, just easy living, which I think is part of like the Italian fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, well, the fantasy is the Italian laundress and hanging laundry. And I'm like, they're just doing their laundry. But of course, like, yeah, it's like being on the Amalfi Coast and like beautiful ocean breeze,
Right. Yeah. And we're talking about Slutty Italian Summer again now, which is why we're doing this podcast, but it's coming up for something that we're styling.
Yeah.
And it's gotten me thinking all over again about what is a Slutty Italian Summer fabric? White eyelet, obviously. Or
Obviously.
or leopard print silk satin.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This aesthetic just keeps coming back for me, and it just sort of like encapsulates a lot of things that I love. So I think we're just gonna keep revisiting.
I mean, great.
Great.
That sounds great. Yeah, it's just so much fun.
It's fun. It's a fun look.
You know, it'll get me through having to sew silk charmeuse.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, it's for a good cause.
It's worthwhile.
Cindy
because-
Crawford would want you to do it.
Yeah, we should be buying more big earrings.
Yes.
This
The
is-
biggest tubes.
Yeah, huge.
Huge.
Lots of troops.
All right. I feel like we've talked about this an acceptable length of time. What do you think, Andrea?
I do. I totally agree. I love talking about this, and I love talking about what really makes you tick and what makes you design. I don't know how many patterns do you design a year.
I don't know.
40?
Who can say?
Like to really just come up with these things that inspire you, so that that's part of where, you know, the charm aesthetic comes from.
Yeah.
Is ladylike vintage and also Slutty Italian Summer.
Italian Summer.
Contain multitudes.
Yeah, I love that. So I guess if you're listening, hopefully there's someone listening to this. If you're listening and there's like a photo shoot that we did that you want to hear more about the styling for it, we probably have a Pinterest board and have had many conversations like this devoted to the styling. So if there's anything you want to hear us talk about in this vein, let us know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Andrea. It
Oh, thank you for having me. It was lovely.
was lovely. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Well, hello again, and thank you so much for joining me. That's it for this installment of Talk Gertie to Me. If I had to guess, I'd probably say this episode included a lot of fashion and pop culture references, some of which are best enjoyed in a more visual medium. So be sure to check the show notes for images and links.